Congressman, on behalf of not just pro-English, but millions of Americans, thank you for taking the lead in this incredible battle that you've been leading for not just this Congress, the 114th, but for years. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for helping out with this and being here all over this hill, pushing the bill and helping us get closer to the day that we'll all celebrate when English becomes the official language of the United States of America.
Congressman, you're known not only on the Hill but in Washington, and you really are. I mention your name and people immediately smile and say, yes, he's been a really out in front.
Glad they
But
smile.
also, well, they do. I am too. But also back in Iowa. What got you started on this whole concept about making it our official language? What was the starting point for you?
Well, I remember the incident, and it would be October 10th, 1996. I was a candidate for the state senate, and Governor Branstad came out to do an event with me at a shelter house at Yellow Smoke Park, Denison, Iowa. And he gave his speech, and I saw that it was all arousing for that. And it was time for me to give my speech, and I just ranged all over the map, just talked about the things as they'd come to my mind. Yeah. And maybe there were, I don't know, 100 people there, maybe a few more. And so as when I got to this part that I didn't really plan on saying, but I said, and I believe that English should be the official language of the state of Iowa. And it brought the house down. And so I realized that I had touched a nerve with something I believed in for a long time.
Sure.
But there was a newspaper reporter, an editorial writer, sitting in the back of the room, and he decided to write a critical article on me the next day for, you know how it goes, racist, bigot, xenophobe, all these names. Yeah. And so then I had to defend myself, and twice a week they would write an attack ad on me, and I would always respond and defend myself. So I knew when I was elected to the state senate, I needed to carry that bill and establish it for the state of Iowa. And so it took 6 years to establish English as the official language of the state of Iowa. And now there are 31 states that have it.
32. We just got West Virginia just last month.
Well, that's good news to me.
Yes,
I didn't see that come through.
Yes,
I'll have to congratulate those folks from almost heaven.
Well,
Iowa is heaven, by the way.
That's right. We don't get it misconstrued there by you folks back home. Well, it's really remarkable what's happened and how you stayed the fight. And when I'm around the Hill, I'll ask some staffer, I'll say, what committee is your boss on? They'll say, well, the so-and-so committee. I say, well, see, it's the official business of the country. It doesn't mean we can't have other things going on, but don't you want to have the ways and means in English? And the other thing we say, and you might want to speak to this, Congressman, is the cost. We know 10 years ago, GAO said it was $2 billion a year. We don't know yet. We haven't gotten a recent study. Unfortunately. What are your thoughts about the cost?
Well, we know it's in billions.
We
billions of extra cost. And I pay attention to the cost of this. I saw a number that said training people how to use food stamps in foreign languages costs $1.86 million. And you can buy a lot of food with $1.86 million. That's a tiny little piece of the much broader bill for not having English as the official language. But I focus on what happens to us culturally.
That's right.
What happens to this America? This common language is the most powerful unifying force known throughout all of history. It's more powerful than religion itself, more powerful than a common race or ethnicity or living on common real estate. If you can communicate with each other, you can find the commonality of everything else. And that's what this country is. I grew up in an era where there was much focus on assimilation. My grandmother came over from Germany and raised 6 sons and a daughter. My father was third in line out of those 7, and when he went to school on his first day of kindergarten, he was speaking German, essentially only German, right. And it must have been very confusing for him to go to school that day. Sure, but when he came home and he said hello to his mother in German, she turned to him and she said, "Speaking German in this household is for you from now on verboten. I came here to be an American, and you will go to school and learn English, and you will bring it home and you will teach it to me."
Oh, that's incredible. Well, it's a story we can tell many times around.
It is. And 5 of those 6 sons put on the uniform and defended our country.
Oh, it's more than heartwarming. It's a true story that speaks to what you're trying to do here. Congressman, you're not my congressman. Rob Whitman is, who signed on to the bill as well, the 79. But I say this to all the congressmen I had the opportunity to meet, and it is an opportunity for us. You really are my congressman, all 435 of you. And thank you for representing my wife and I and our family on what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and let's get this done. I'm looking forward to that day that the ink goes on the document that establishes English as the official language of the United States of America.
Thank you. Thank you.